Welcome back to Section 4 Fans, the podcast with real fans, real takes. We got episode 32 here, and we're going to be breaking down the NFL draft, little updates on the Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs, and then we're going to dive into a couple topics before hopefully capping it off with a little Immaculate Grid. Let's get into it, Carter. Episode 32 here. How do we feel about the NFL draft to start with? Did you watch a lot of it, or?
It was more so updates. I couldn't really watch the first round because I was coaching and I felt my watch vibrating nonstop, and I'm like, why is it just nonstop? And it's you texting me like, "Oh my gosh, what a trade! Oh my gosh, Cardinal Tate fourth overall! Oh my
Yeah.
god!"
Yeah,
And
definitely
it's
some interesting things
it
happened in the first round.
it was mixed reviews on the draft. I saw some people say that it was the most boring draft. I saw some
I
people it
I
was
quite
super.
liked the first round. I thought it was pretty exciting. I think it went um, not quite how everyone imagined it would go, and I think that all started with the fourth overall pick, with the Titans picking Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State, and that was with Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, and Sonny Styles still on the board. People thought the Titans were going to go defense, especially being led by Robert Saleh, a defensive-minded coach, but they opted the other way and decided to get their former number one overall pick, a weapon on the outside. So hopefully that pays off for Tennessee going down the line here. But I think it had to do largely with the fact that they acquired a lot of defensive players in the free agency window. So I think that's why they maybe opted to go with an offensive player in the draft. However, with a guy like Sonny Styles still on the board, that's a pretty difficult talent to pass up there.
Mhm. 100%. Um, did you see what was it? There was Carnell Tate, Sonny Styles, and Will Howard at the Luke Combs concert in Columbus,
Hmm.
Ohio. Sonny Styles and Will Howard were shotgunning beers on stage with Luke Combs.
That is a very interesting group of guys there. But I mean, it kind of went as everyone expected with picks 1 through 3. Like I mentioned, 4 shook it up, and I think the real shock came at 6 with the Chiefs trading up, and they got Mansour Delane, corner out of LSU. That was a pretty big kind of movement at the time. Obviously, the Chiefs needed secondary help, being that they lost 2 of their starters. I believe they both went to the Rams. I know McDuffie did for sure. So they were very shallow in that position. So they were able to get a pretty quality. I mean, he was the top corner in the draft, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out for him with Kansas City. I think they're just repurposing, retooling, getting ready to make another push and extend the dynasty out longer. I got to be honest, I thought if they weren't going to trade up, it could have been interesting if they would have taken Kenyon Sadiq just to replace Kelsey in the later years. I think that would have been an interesting piece, but they went with defense here, so that's pretty good. Is there any kind of
Yeah,
before we get to the main thing? Is there or like the big storyline coming out of the draft first round? Is there anything else that has kind of caught your eye in that first round?
did you mentioned Ty Simpson? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
that's what I was getting to next here. Um,
I guess Caleb Banks was a surprise to a lot of people. The
how
safe.
do you feel about that pick as a Vikings fan?
I mean, he just has high ceiling. You just gotta hope he stays healthy. Um, I think he'll be. People are saying it's either going to be a bust or he's going to be a five-time All-Pro, like highest paid defensive tackle at one point in the league. He
Yeah,
has a size. Uh,
yeah, he does.
has a size. The draft made it seem like Brian Flores is our GM just based on how we were drafting with defensive guys and just a fullback and
Yeah, it
being
was very defensive heavy from what I
which
saw. I didn't see many
which
skill positions.
with trading Grenard as well.
Yeah,
Need replacements, need young guys to come in, step up, and I feel like good, successful NFL rosters, they have, you know, it's not always the highest paid guys on the Super Bowl winning team.
yeah,
Obviously, Chiefs was different because Patrick Mahomes was, but like if you look at the defense, it's not like oh they have the highest paid defensive tackle and the highest paid linebacker and the highest paid safety and
yeah.
then
It's very much a sport where you can't rely on everyone.
it's like that
You,
dude.
you can't rely on one single player to get it done for you. If that was the case, then you would think the Browns would be in the playoffs making deep runs every year because they have Myles Garrett. But it's obviously more than just one player.
They also just make smart choices when it comes to contracts and drafting. Uh, like these late round picks are so valuable, I think personally,
Yeah.
because it's how many late round picks do we see become just I wouldn't say faces of the NFL, but
No, I mean just serviceable careers.
yeah,
And I think the thing is, if they can get these guys to develop and pan out and kind of um, hit their ceiling or go past what their proposed ceiling is, they're still on a very cheap contract in comparison to, like the Cardinals that have 50 mil guaranteed to a running back that hasn't even taken a snap.
hmm
Um, so, yeah, I mean the contracts do play a part. So if you could get these late guys to kind of develop, that's gonna really help your run in the playoffs and potential Super Bowl um, runs maybe. I mean, it kind of differs. You saw the Seahawks; they've built their defense and the draft over the past couple years, and they lost a couple guys this offseason. So it'll be interesting to see how that defense recovers.
and
But
that's the thing that I was just like that I was trying to explain, but I explained it horribly. Was uh they knew their win like the Seahawks, they knew their window for a Super Bowl, and they drafted those defensive guys. They knew the year after they weren't going to be able to keep them just because due to salary cap reasons and stuff. So they went all in, and they got Sam Darnold, which was smart of them. Made JSN what the highest paid receiver,
yeah, I think he is. If not, he's definitely top three, top five, I'd say. But I think
and
he's.
they had just a bunch of solid defensive players, not star defensive player, but
I mean,
solid
they
defensive
were
players
they were
that fit
solid.
their
They were
scheme.
solid to the point where they were starting to become stars. Specifically, Reek Woolen. I mean, he was huge for the Seahawks this
And it's
past postseason.
and they all fit their scheme.
Yeah, I mean, I think the interesting thing there with the Seahawks, we saw them lose, not just Zach Charbonnet due to injury late in the year, but now in the offseason they've lost the Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker, and they didn't trade. They kept that 32nd pick, and they got Jadarian Price, who was the second string running back at Notre Dame behind um, Jeremiah Love. So I think that could be a pretty interesting thing there. It'll be interesting to see how Price does in comparison to Love in the NFL. Although the Seahawks line is better. Simply, it's better than the Cardinals line, so that's going to play a factor. But it'll be
Team
interesting to see what
better.
happens there. I think the main story coming out of the NFC West though is obviously the Rams with the 13th overall picking Ty Simpson. Didn't seem like a pick many people thought was going to happen unless they were Dan Orlovsky. He was really in on Ty Simpson and leading up to the draft, and it turns out he wasn't the only one, as the Rams took him 13th overall, and it's kind of interesting because he's just going to sit. Who knows how long Stafford's going to play? He could play
I
just
think
this year, or he could come back for two more years. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Stafford and Ty Simpson there in LA. But we've seen it before. We've seen Aaron Rodgers sit behind Brett Favre for a couple years. Turned out to be a pretty good starter. We saw Jordan Love do the same thing. Turned out to be a pretty good starter. So we've seen teams that didn't really need a quarterback to get one in the first round, and yes, those were just both Packer teams, but um, I think the same thing could happen here with Ty Simpson. I think he's got he he doesn't really necessarily have the physical attributes as you've seen in some other prospects over the years, but in terms of just the way he plays and carries himself, I mean, it's definitely a guy from Saban's system. Even though he uh, got his really only playing time this past year, but being one of the final guys from Saban's era at Bama, he was able to be a part of that winning culture there. So I think it's just going to translate really well to his NFL career.
Ty Simpson. You gotta hope that it I don't think he'll be ready by his second year. I think he'll be more so ready his third year. I don't think Stafford has another year in him after this year, personally, just due to his age and where the NFL is kind of going a little bit. More of a mobile, I wouldn't even say mobile quarterback because you see quarterbacks in college be mobile.
Yeah, I mean he could still get out the pocket and get you a first down, but
But he is
it's definitely a new generation coming into the game.
age,
Yeah.
and how much does he have left in the tank mentally as well? That's a huge thing for
I mean, how much I think the question is how much does he want to? His kids are getting older, so yeah, it's been nice for him to see them, kind of for his kids to see him at the pinnacle of winning it all. League MVP. He won the Super Bowl a couple years ago, um, and after spending years in the dumpster of Detroit, that was. I'm not sure how much he has left that he necessarily wants to give to the game. I think maybe he switches it over and becomes a full time dad at that point too in the near future. I think he's kind of hit everything that you would want to get out of an NFL career.
I think Ty Simpson will be a good NFL quarterback. Do I think 12 is a little crazy? Yeah. Do I
Yeah, yeah,
think
it was a bit early at 13.
they could have traded back in late of first round or even traded back?
Oh
Like trade
yeah, yeah.
back?
There's not any other teams that would have taken him besides the Cardinals, which they
Yeah.
didn't even take a quarterback till round 3 when they took Carson Beck. So
Yeah, after Ty Simpson's off the board, there's no quarterback going in the second round.
yeah. But no, it was a good draft. I like my Chargers draft pick, another edge rusher. So hopefully we get that defense in tip-top shape. I did notice we drafted a couple offensive linemen too, which is useful after what happened to us last year with both our star tackles getting injured, one before the season and one like 2 games in. And that line was in hell all year long. So hopefully with these later draft picks, these guys can become serviceable if any injuries happen. But hopefully they don't, and the Chargers can finally get a run, and Herbert can do something maybe in the playoffs. But ultimately, the draft as a whole was pretty good. I think the first round was, for the most part, it went kind of how I thought it was going to go, although there were some exciting shakeups. I'm definitely looking forward to how this season's going to shape up here in the fall. But with one season starting, we got a couple closing. We did our predictions last episode, and at this point in time, first round still going on for a lot of the NHL and NBA first round series. I think really only one is done, and that's the Senators over the Hurricanes, or I mean the Hurricanes over the Senators. I believe that's the only series across the board that is done between both sports. Kind of, what do you think of the NHL and NBA playoffs so far, Carter? Just as a whole, and kind of like if you can remember to your picks, how do you think that's shaping up?
Well, I know I got the Carolina one right. I don't know if I got the sweep right though. Montreal's been playing really well. Like I said, that atmosphere in Montreal is insane. Buffalo's exciting to watch. Uh, the Wild Stars series might be
The best.
the best series all playoffs, even going into the conference semifinals, conference finals, the Stanley Cup finals. It's just back and forth. I mean, the past two games went into double overtime and regular overtime or
Very good series.
overtime. And the whole game is just, I was on the edge of my seat. Obviously, a little bit biased there because I'm a
Yeah.
Wild fan, but um, that yesterday's overtime was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just north south hockey the whole time, and it was one of the quickest overtime. It felt so quick just because of how much action was going on in the
Yeah,
overtime.
little stoppages.
Yeah, and NBA playoffs. I was watching the Timberwolves last night, and then all of a sudden, just
Brutal.
cuts away from the game. And it's like, where did the game go? I'm seeing Trump speak on the TV. But Timberwolves, yeah, that's too unfortunate. Injuries,
Yeah,
obviously, is
absolutely. You hate to see it with Achilles tear for Dante. That is not ideal for the guard that started all 82 games for the Wolves this year, and then Ant goes down with very disgusting knee injury, hyperextended it. Luckily, it's come out saying no ligament damage, just a bone bruise and a hyperextended knee, but he is out for multiple weeks. So we'll see if the Wolves can continue to get it done. They're up 3-1. Now they got to go back to Denver, but they are without their two starting guards. So hopefully the others can pick up the slack. And we saw that they did last night. That was a huge game from Ayo Dosunmu. He put up a nasty 43 points on the Nuggets, and a couple other key players. McDaniels is backing up his talk, and Gobert is belt to ass on Jokic. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in the playoffs. Gobert is in tip-top form, reminds me of the Utah Jazz days for him. But, yeah, I think the NBA playoffs have been going pretty good. I think the Lakers have shocked everyone.
yeah,
Not so
they
much,
closed
not
out
so much
tonight.
the Lakers shocked everyone. I think it's more surprising that the Rockets have been this poor in the playoffs. It's definitely interesting. I saw things saying that Kevin Durant is like in a pickup game. Kevin Durant would be your first player to pick, but he's never going to be a team captain.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can just tell, he's a hell of a player, but I just don't think he's that leader that can lead a team. And I think that's why that Golden State time in his career is always going to be interesting, the way he bounced around and really hasn't had playoff success anywhere else besides Golden State. But yeah, I mean, still at the end of the day, one of the best, just true basketball players of all time.
One thing, I'm just looking at lines and stuff. Um, so when the Timberwolves played the Nuggets, game two, line was at 7.5 in favor of the Nuggets. Going back out there for game five with the Timberwolves up 3-1 with the injuries, you're looking at minus 10.5 in favor of Denver. So 3 point
Interesting.
difference right there.
Yeah.
And last
Gosh.
night, Nuggets were minus 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, man, they did not cover. It'll be interesting to see if they can get it done in Denver. Obviously, the home court's going to help, but and the big time injuries. Maybe the Wolves can still pull it off, but the NBA playoffs have been very good. Magic,
Yeah,
yeah, the
Orlando.
Magic, Orlando Magic. They've they've been absolutely shocking the world. Pistons number one seed, definitely not a number one seed in the East at this point in time. They have looked pretty horrible. Jared Duran has gone missing. Cade Cunningham has been all right. He's been basically their only guy that can do anything. But the Magic have found their way, and as you mentioned, it goes back to that play-in. They're a play-in team. We've seen it before with the Heat making huge runs from the play-in to the finals, led by Jimmy Butler during those years. And who knows, maybe we could see some success here in Orlando with the Magic as they got their 8th seed in the play-in win, and now they're looking for an upset over the Pistons. But I think that's kind of all I got from the NBA side of things. NHL, not too much to cover. Like we said, the Wild. I think Wild Stars the best series. I was finally able to catch the Ducks Oilers. I watched Game 3, I believe, on Friday night, and that was amazing. Loved seeing that win. That was a huge win. Got to take advantage of the home wins, especially against Edmonton. So hopefully the Ducks can get it done there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of coming back after this first round and going back and seeing what our predictions and kind of how they've panned out before we go ahead and crack into the second round predictions. But this leads me to kind of my other thought while thinking about kind of the playoffs, more specifically the NBA, and we could kind of slide in some NFL knowledge here too. But it brought me to a thought about if dynasties are really better for for the business, for the sport, or is it better to have kind of a variety in terms of elite contenders or just championship wins in total? Going back to dynasties, we had the Golden State Warriors in that 2015 to, you could even, I mean, if you wanted to push it, you could go to their last final win, which I think was 2022. You could stretch it that much, but that was a huge group of guys that were able to get a lot of things accomplished there in the league. And I just want to get your thoughts about what do you think is better in that circumstance?
Uh, I think for the league wise, revenue wise, uh, dynasties, because think about all the kids that w wear Curry t-shirt jerseys
Yeah, yeah,
and in are Golden State fans because they grew up when Golden State was going on that run.
yeah. I
I
think.
think it's harder in the NFL to be a dynasty. Actually, I take that back. The
Well,
Patriots.
yeah. I mean, you got the Patriots and the Chiefs, and those are the two prime examples there. The Chiefs did a lot in a shorter amount of time at this point in time, in comparison to the Patriots, who were dominant for very much of the late 2000s and 2010s. So those have been basically the main two in the NFL world. And I think kind of going back to the NBA, yeah, I think you're right. You're right on the track about it. It is better for a business standpoint. I mean, you see it today. People are still talking about the '90s Bulls.
Mhm.
In 20 years' times, people are still going to be talking about like the 2015 Golden State
We weren't
Warriors.
we weren't alive, obviously, for the '90s Bulls, but
Yeah,
do you think they got as much hate as the like? Because like all I remember is people hate. Like I didn't like the Warriors because they were always winning, obviously, right?
yeah. I feel like that happens in when dynasties are on the rise. You feel the need to hate them, such as the Patriots, one of the more so hated organizations, unless you were in Boston. But like with the NBA, I think it's interesting. I wouldn't really say like I don't think the Warriors were hated as much as what people think. Um, I think I don't know. I've never met a team more hateable than the Thunder at this point in time. The
Yeah,
Thunder the Thunder are easily the most
well,
hateable
not
team
even
in the
because they're a
league.
dynasty. It's
No,
because
I mean
how they
they could be. They could be if they get a championship this year. It could look like they're becoming a dynasty there, but yeah, it's just very hard. I think the thing about the Warriors is it was always the Warriors and Cavs, and I think that is what people did not like was during those mid 2010s Warriors Cavs every single year. It got a bit old. Um, you know, two amazing teams. You got LeBron, you got Curry, both transcended the game in different ways. And I think from the fan aspect, I think people got sick of those matchups. And I think that's why we're at a point in time now where hopefully we're seeing a variety in champions. We've seen the Raptors get their first championship in franchise history, and then the Celtics finally got one after, I think, since early 2000s. Um, Thunder got their first one in franchise history. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a year this year where we either get a back-to-back or we get a team that hasn't won at all ever in their franchise history, or maybe we get a team that used to be a dynasty that can get another one, like the Spurs, for example, there.
Yeah, uh, dynasties are. I wonder if the Bulls were hated as much as like people were hating on the Warriors or the Patriots or
I don't know. I think maybe.
it doesn't seem like it just based off it because like is there gonna be a obviously the Last Dance was more would you say the Last Dance was more about Jordan or about the Bulls?
Oh, it was about Jordan.
So you aren't, but a lot of it you could be like, it's about, yeah, Jordan's last dance with the Bulls. There isn't going to be a Steph Curry last
No,
dance kind of
but
documentary.
there's a LeBron documentary, and
But he didn't stay at a team long enough to create a dynasty. Could you count the Heat a dynasty? They're
n
dominant, yeah, but would you say dynasty? No.
no, no, they didn't win enough. They were just a super team. No, I mean I get your point. He wasn't at a place long enough. You know, it's funny. He's now been at the Lakers a lot longer than what people actually realize.
Or COVID,
Yeah, he's been on the. I think this is the like longest tenure of his career besides I think his first stint in Cleveland.
which is insane because
But
it's like, felt like he joined the Lakers a few years ago.
yeah, it he's been there. I want to say it's been like 8 years almost.
Yeah, since like 20.
Because Bryce was in high school, or Bryce and Bronny, they were in like junior high school, and now he's playing with Bronny in the playoffs. So, uh, such an interesting thing there. I think that can, yeah, dynasties, no dynasties, it all just depends. But I think it's nice to have teams that can be dominant for a certain amount of time, but then we see it's hard to maintain contracts and everything. They fall apart. Um, Egos play a factor. So then you do see that little recession in dynasties for a bit, and then they get built right back up. I think we're seeing it with the Spurs right now. That could be a potential dynasty if they get wins. I think the
Front
Thunder could
office
be a
plays,
potential.
front office plays a huge role.
Oh yeah, I think the Thunder are easily a team that could be a dynasty. The Celtics, if they get a couple more wins, they got one of the best players in the world right now in Jason Tatum. Even coming off an Achilles tear, he's still putting unbelievable stats up. So who knows? I'm hoping. Honestly, I hope we don't see any more dynasties. I like a little variety. I don't mind a team winning, a couple in a few years, but I don't want to see, three straight things like that. I want to see some shakeups throughout the world, throughout the leagues. But not sure what else you wanted to do here. If you
Immaculate.
wanted to crack
Okay.
into an immaculate grid here,
Should we
let
do NBA?
let's go NBA. Okay, we'll do NBA here. You got the 1007.
Timberwolves, Lakers. Do we want to be safe or try and
I mean, off the top of my head, I was thinking Patrick Beverly. I feel like he was
yeah,
on the Lakers, right?
I'm thinking Vando.
Ooh, we could even go D'Angelo Russell here too.
Yeah, go D'Lo.
But okay, but D'Lo could also be used in Nets, Lakers.
Yeah, let's save D'Lo. Go Vando or Pat Bev.
Yeah, let's go with. I'll go with Vanderbilt. And the Nets here, let's go with Russell. Now we got Hornets, Lakers.
Chris Paul.
Would have happened. Um,
Kelly Olynyk.
I don't think so. I can't think of a player.
All right, let's move on quick. Timberwolves.
Wolves, Bulls, Jimmy Butler.
Sure. Yeah,
I
go
think we
for it.
just got to get it in.
Oh,
We'll see what score we can get. Okay, Wolves and Bucks. This is when we need Drake.
I feel like Dang or something played for the Bucks. Oh, we could have won Dang for
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
this
I think I got
Donovan.
one here. Um, I don't have one here.
Bucks
Um,
Nets.
Cam Thomas.
Go for it. Timberwolves Bucks.
Joe Ingles.
You play for the Bucks?
I believe so. Put it in. See if it works.
Uh, he did. It's a good one. Good pull.
Um,
There had to been some like white center or something.
I don't know why I can't think of anyone.
Ish Smith has to be on here somewhere. Where is Ish?
Maybe Hornets Bulls. He works. I got no idea here.
Ish Smith, Bucks Hornets.
No, I don't think that works. I don't think that
I,
works.
it it does. He played for the Hornets
Oh,
and Bucks.
Bucks Hornets. Okay. Um, we need Nets Bulls, right?
Yep.
Andre Drummond. I think he played.
Yep. Bulls Nets. Drummond.
So we have Jared Vanderbilt,
Yep. Russell.
Russell. We got Jimmy Butler for Wolves and Bulls.
Drummond.
Wolves and Bucks. We got Joe Ingles. Nets and Bucks. Cam Thomas. Nets and Lakers.
We had Russell. Lakers.
Yeah, Russell, yeah. Andre Drummond for Nets Bulls is what we had.
Yep. And then Ish Smith for Bucks Hornets. Who's the other journeyman in the NBA? Pat Bev never played
Dennis
for the
Schroeder.
Ooh,
I don't think he played for the Hornets though.
no.
So we need Hornets Lakers and Hornets Bulls.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Del Curry never played for the
Hornets Lakers. We could go with Vlad Divac or whatever. This old guy, older Laker.
I see him.
That should work there.
Yep.
Hornets Bulls. Does Tyson Chandler work here?
I see.
I know he was on the Bulls. Oh, no. Let's go with Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson, yes.
Oh,
Yes, I know that for a fact.
boom. There you go.
And we got it.
Boom. Immaculate Grid done.
That's what I'm talking about. We'll put it up on the screen there so you can see what we did. And hopefully we could do another one of these another time. But I think that's going to do it. Good Immaculate Grid. We got it in just in time. And hopefully the playoff energy keeps it up. And, this was episode 32, Section for Fans. Thank you. See you next time.